This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're going to be introducing today one of our expansion kits. We're going to convert the Box Quad into the 380 Sport. So let's get started. This is what you're going to get in the expansion kit. We'll have some what we call body lugs, and we'll go over that in a second. You get 8 of those. We get the battery mount, of course, and we're going to get a little bit of the laser cut wood, and this is Russian birch that we use on this. It's a real good plywood. This is going to be our new legs, or our landing gear rather. The Box Quad has 3-inch long, this one's 4-inch long. You could use the 3 if you want, but we furnished a 4. And then we have the body. So, and you have to put this together, and we have, you know, this on a couple of videos. I'm putting this together and, you know, installing it. So we're going to set that aside and we're going to get started. Now, I have some of these because I didn't want to take this one apart, but this is the side pieces here, and if you were going to expansion kit with these pieces, you'd simply just take it apart. And there you go. Took the legs off, or the landing gear off, because we're going to put different ones on. So we have those. I'll put this aside for right now. Here's our landing gear. These crossover pieces here, they're 7 inches long, and we're going to cut those down. These pieces here and this piece here all stays the same. Makes it real easy. So let me go ahead and set this thing aside, and of course we're going to reuse the motors, props, and the controller, you know, your receiver, and the ESC at the bottom. This would be reused also. So let's go ahead and put this aside. Let me find a place to put it, and let's get started with this. So we have our pieces here, and this is our bottom piece, and this is going to wind up going like this. We have this tape on here because we have this whenever we laser cut these pieces. So before we put our crossover pieces on, we're going to take this apart. And there's a couple of ways of putting the it together, and again, it's in the videos of the 380 Sport, so I'm not going to go over those. You can go into the 380 Sport video and it'll show you the conventional way or the alternate way of putting these on, and you'll see it when you go through the video. These pieces here, and also it'll show it in the video, is that if you're putting it on this way and they're glued together, then it drops the mounting plate for your ESC down lower. And again, take a look at the video. But what we're going to do is we're going to mount this in the alternate method. And once again, take a look at the video, you'll see it. Real easy to go through with it. We'll adjust these arms in a minute. Okay, we're going to put the crossover pieces in, and this is upside down. I'm going to put them in part of the way, then this piece here is going to do this. It's going to slide in like that. And here we are, we're a 380 frame now. So we want to make sure it's put together, you know, pushed together this way, and of course this way. And you'll see that this comes flush. This comes flush. And so are these pieces. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our 16th inch bit, and you know the drill on that. You don't have to go all the way through. You know, I go about halfway through that 1/2 inch piece, so you know it's about 1/4 of an inch. If you go all the way through, it doesn't matter. You know, it's okay. Or get some 5/8 long screws. And we'll go ahead and get 2 of these put in. So the box quad starts changing pretty quickly into the 380 Sport. And a good thing about it, the motor, or the motors and controller, you know, all the electronics components stay along with it. So here we go. This is going to move a little bit. I mean, you can line it up if you want to. Works good. Now we're going to put our battery mount on. Now, again, and I'm going to go ahead and take these off. These are spacers if you're using the battery mount for a tricopter. And I usually keep these. These are come in handy. Now you can use, you know, sandpaper to get these little pieces off here. You can leave them on if you want to. You don't really have to take them off. Be careful with the knife if you're using the knife. And it makes a nice neat job. Holes are ready here for you. All you have to do is put the screws in. We're going to be using 1/4 inch screws here. And once again, you can use only the screws or use the screws and just a little bit of thin CA. Just a little spot here and here. It'll wick in and it's never leaving the, you have to pry it off. And when you do, the wood will come with it a little bit, but you can always sand that off if you're going to reuse it on something else. So, works really good. If not, screws work well too. If you strip out one of the screws, you can go ahead and put them all in, take this piece off, and you can put just a drop of thin CA in the holes in the wood and let it dry real good. Put it back, put your screws in, it locks it really, really well. This is your strap. And we'll go ahead and just put that through. Now the battery on this one, you know, sits this way. You can put it this way if you want to, but it's going to kind of restrict. This is the best way to go across. And it'll handle a good sized battery. Okay. Okay, we're going to be putting these feet on. So this landing gear is, and I'm just measuring, make sure that they're even. That they're all the way pushed in. Looking good. And I'm just making sure that they match up here. Okay. So we're going to use our 16th inch bit. You know the routine. Go about halfway in. We're just doing a pilot hole. And we'll use our .5/8 long screws. And we'll use our little driver. Normally I put them in with the screwdriver, but we're going to have everything facing out. This is coming together really good if you notice. We'll get our 16th inch bit again. As I always say, same old routine. Need a pilot hole, make sure this is all the way in. We're going to do the same thing here, make sure it's all the way in. And we're going to 16th inch hole again. .16" bit. And then we'll use the 5/8 long screws. Let me see how fast the frame goes together. And again, the only wood we're changing on this, well, of course we're adding the bottom piece and the top piece. And I always, again, use the driver to make sure it's in there really good. And you need to do that on all of them. It just makes for a real nice job that way. So we'll add this piece of wood, this top piece of wood. We're getting ready to do that. All the other wood that's used on the box quad and all the other parts stay the same. The only thing we're going to cut down, and we have, is this crossover piece from 7 inches to 4 inches. So we went from 7 inches from the box quad on this crossover piece to 4 inches long, cut that, and we use them there. Now this crossover piece is gonna, this top piece is gonna wind up going right here. And you know what? I put these on backwards, didn't I? Well, let's do this and see. It happens, so should have caught that. Oh, it's no big deal. Let's take it off, and we're going to change that piece, or change those pieces around. Okay, let's go ahead and loosen this one up. No big deal, it just takes just a second. I'm going to slide it off. And we'll do this. There we go. We'll slide these off. Slide them back on. No big deal. So that's the neat thing about QuadLugs. That's easy to build, and you can change most anything around. And you're seeing this firsthand. Pretty cool. We'll get this put back on. There we go. We'll put this back on. There we go. Good, good. We'll go ahead and put our screw back in. There we go. And again, we're going to adjust these angles a little and tighten that down real good. We'll do that in a minute. Just that easy. Okay. The top piece goes here. Now it's a little bit better. It comes flush here and here. It's going to be flush on both sides. And you'll notice that it's flush here and flush here. So, you know, you can make it a little bit wider if you want to, or you can bring them in and, you know, make them the same. Now, let's go ahead, and if you're going to mount your ESC in this area right here that we give you, it's a little bit thicker than most of the foreign ones. So we're going to have another plate that goes underneath this area here, and it actually lifts it up a little bit, and it gives you enough room for your ESC to fit. We're going to do that in a minute. Let's go ahead and put these at our 45 degrees. So that'd be 15, 30, 45. And we'll go ahead and put them on each side, and we'll put them flush. You can glue them on if you want to, but normally I just hold them flush to either side and then this way. And I'll show you in a minute. And we're going to use a 16th inch hole. We're going to go through the plastic part and into the 1/2 inch wood. And we're going to use the 5/8 long. That looks a little long there. 5/8 long screw. We'll go ahead and get these lined up. There we go. We'll get this one started, and then we'll do the opposite corner. And again, these are the shim pieces we're putting in, or the spacer pieces. We'll put it flush on the outside of the plastic piece, and then we'll line up the wood here. Now the rest of this, you know, putting the body on, is all in the video, the 380. So we'll reference the videos for the 380 Sport, and it goes together the same way, whether you're using the alternate method, which this is the alternate, or if you use the original. And there you go. So this is what it's going to wind up looking like. Makes for a really nice looking quad. So anyway, the box quad, turn it into this. And quite a transformation, but you can see it's really simple to do. And like I was saying, go to the 380 Sport build videos, and it's on the product page, or you can go over to, that's probably the best place, just go over to the product page toward the bottom and you'll see the videos. They're also on YouTube, but this might be a little bit easier for you to find. So this is the box quad with the expansion kit to the 380 Sport, and the electronics are all going to fit the same as the 380 Sport. You can just go to that area, the build video, and it'll show you how to put it on. But you know what, if you've already built the box quad, it's pretty much the same thing. You mount the motors back on, you put the ESC underneath this area here, just take this off and it mounts underneath here. Your controller is going to fit here. The wiring is going to be identical to the way you did the box quad. Really, really simple, as you've done it already. So it fits the same way. There's no special settings you have to do for the KK board if you're going to use that on here. And again, later on you can change that. You can even, you know, install the GPS controllers, you know, so you can put a naze on it, and you know, have GPS and do all of your GPS stuff, you know, with return to a home and you know, GPS lock and all that good stuff. You can do waypoints. You can do all of this, all of that rather, with this. You can even do that with a box quad, by the way. It's just a controller in there. So once you change the controller, it will do all of these items also. This is Danny with QuadLugs. Take care. If you need any other info, or if you need any help with anything, please leave a comment below.